This class is going to be called The Great Escape from Babylon the Great. The Great Escape from Babylon the Great. That goes where we get through all of this. All right, let's start out in Exodus chapter 2, verse 23-24.
Exodus chapter 2, verse 23. And it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage. And they cried, and their cry came up unto God by reason of the bondage. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob.
And remember the covenant, right? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Let's go to that. Go to the covenant. Genesis 17. Genesis 15. Let's go to Genesis 15, 13. He remembered the covenant. What is that covenant?
Genesis chapter 15, verse 13. And he said unto Abram, Know of surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
So to let you know, this is the prophecy talking about when we would be in Egypt, not now. You know, you got some unlearned Israelites that be on YouTube talking about the 400-year prophecy, 1619 to 2019. Northern Kingdom been here enslaved since 1492. That's 600 something years we've been here. So that prophecy does not, Genesis 15:13 is not talking about 1619 to 2019, right? It says, shall afflict them 400 years, right? Read on.
And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full.
Read on.
And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. And the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates, the Kenites, and the Kenizzites, and the Cadmonites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Raphims, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Girgashites, and the Jebusites.
So that covenant was to give us that land, which we know as Jerusalem, but it was known as the land of Canaan before that, the land of Ham, right? Jump over to 17, and let's read 7 and 8. We read this earlier too. Let's read that.
Genesis chapter 17, verse 7. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed.
Go ahead.
And thy seed after thee in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God.
So that covenant was to give us the land and to be our God, right? Go back to Exodus now. Go to Exodus chapter 2 again. Let's go to Exodus 2, and let's read 24 and 25.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 24.
Exodus
chapter 2, verse 24. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob.
To be our God and to give us the land, right? After 400 something years, he remembered that covenant. Read on.
And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them.
God had respect unto them. Go to the book of Acts. I want to show you. Because a lot of times people talk about Cornelius, and they think it's talking about all nations. This is how we know that Cornelius was Israel, northern kingdom, right? Let's read that Acts 10 and let's read 34.
Acts chapter 10, verse 34.
34 through 36.
Then Peter opened his mouth and said, "Of a truth I perceive that God is no respecter of persons, but in every nation he that feareth him and worketh righteousness is accepted with him."
So it says God is no respecter of persons in every nation, right? Read on.
The word which God sent unto the children of Israel.
So if you didn't understand verse 34, 35, verse 36 clears it up. That he had respect unto the children of Israel, the same way that he did in Exodus chapter 2. It never changed. Read that again. Read 34 through 36 again.
Verse 30, Acts chapter 10, verse 34. Then Peter opened his mouth and said, "Of a truth I perceive that God is no respecter of persons."
When it comes to Israel, no respecter of persons amongst the Israelites. Go ahead.
"But in every nation he that feareth him
No matter where we were scattered. Go ahead.
and worketh righteousness is accepted with him. The word which God sent unto the children of Israel, preaching peace by Jesus Christ. He is Lord of all.
All right, so I just wanted to go there to show you that it didn't change from old to new, right? Let's let you know who Cornelius is talking about. It ain't today's talking, right? Go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah 16, and let's get verse, what I got here, 14, 15.
Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 14.
I pray this ain't too deep once we get to it. So y'all should understand. Most of y'all should understand. Rules for this. If not, go read notes. Watch the video again. Go ahead.
Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them. And I will bring them again into the land that I gave unto their fathers.
So it says north. What is Jeremiah talking about it right there? North what? What is he talking about? Who knows? Hamul. Let's see. Just stand up, say it.
Here, sir.
What's here?
The North America or the
North America. Okay. All right. A lot of people say, I hear you talking. Now, prove it. What precept would you go to say North America? Because a lot of times we just throw that out and brothers don't get precepts behind it. All right, I'll help you out because I ain't got all day. Go to Zechariah. Let's show you that Jeremiah is prophesying about North America. Zechariah chapter 2, and let's read verse 6 and 7.
Zechariah chapter 2, verse 6. Ho, ho, come forth, and flee from the land of the north.
Land of the north, right? Go ahead.
Saith the Lord, for I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heaven, saith the Lord. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon.
Oh, so he's telling you. He says that north place is where the daughter of Babylon dwells in. Deliver yourself from that. Before we go there, go to Jeremiah 51. Because I don't want us to think, we got to get a plane ticket and flee out of here. Because the whole earth is the Lord's. There's nowhere you can run. Right? It said he spread us abroad the four winds of the earth. He's everywhere. So go to Jeremiah 51, and I want to read verse 5 and 6 when it talks about deliver thyself. Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 5. For Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God, of the Lord of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Flee out of the midst of Babylon.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon. Read on.
And deliver every man his soul.
Deliver what?
Every man his soul.
When he's talking about flee, he's talking about deliver your soul. Flee from the ways of Babylon. Not to actually leave and get on a plane like some other Israelite groups have done. He's talking about deliver your own soul. Flee. All right, let's go to Psalms 137, right? Because it said that dwellest in Zechariah said the daughter of Babylon. You dwell with the daughter of Babylon. What's he talking about? Psalms 137. Find that for me. Shadow in Ezra. Read that for me when you get it. Psalms 137, verse 7 and 8.
Psalms chapter 137, verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem.
Remember the children of Edom. Who is Edom on the earth today, brothers? Esau, right? Read on.
Who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon.
Hold on. Edom is what?
O daughter of Babylon.
So when we read in Zechariah, when it talks about flee from Babylon, that dwells with the daughter of Babylon, is talking about the ways of Esau. That's who you will be living with. That's how we know when it talks about the land of the north, it's talking about North America. So put those precepts together. Jeremiah, Zechariah, Jeremiah, and Psalms 137. Read Psalms 137 again. Verse 7 and 8. Say it again.
Verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it.
Raise it means destroy it to the ground. Go ahead.
Even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon.
O daughter of Babylon. Go ahead.
Who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
All right, let's go back. Let's go back to Zechariah, so we make sure we got it together. Zechariah chapter 2, verse 6.
Zechariah chapter 2, verse 6.
6 and 7.
Ho, ho, come forth, and flee from the land of the north, saith the Lord. For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of heaven, saith the Lord. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon.
With the daughter of Babylon. Now go back to Psalms 137, 7 and 8, so we know who the daughter of Babylon is.
Psalm chapter 137, verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem.
Edom, go ahead.
Who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof, O daughter of Babylon.
David's letting us know Edom is the daughter of Babylon. Let me show you something. So, let me ask this question. Every child, every daughter, right? Every daughter has a what? Let's see this picture. What does every daughter have? Let's see, it ain't deep. Officer Daniel, up front. What does every daughter have?
A father.
That's why I asked the question. I knew they was going to say that. Who, anybody else? Goodness gracious. Y'all better be every daughter, I got to give it to you. It's one shot. One hit or quit. If you got it wrong, I know the rest of y'all. Every daughter has a mother and a father. They got a mother too, Daniel. Your wife looking around. Yeah, look. I'm the one changing pampers around here. Every daughter has a mother, right? Go to Ezekiel 16:44. Remember, it said, daughter of Babylon. Ezekiel 16:44.
Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 44. Behold, everyone that uses proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother.
As is the mother. Go ahead.
So is her daughter.
So is what?
So is her daughter.
I'm telling you, Edom is the daughter of Babylon. She's just like her mama. So you need to understand, what was her mama like then? Right? Okay, let's see. Go to Ezekiel. Let's see. What I got here? Okay, yeah, attributes. Okay. Go to Ezekiel 21:18. So let's see what Babylon's mama was like. Let's see the daughter of Babylon's mama was like. Read that.
Ezekiel chapter 21, verse 18. The word of the Lord came unto me again, saying, also, thou son of man, appoint thee 2 ways, that the sword of the king of Babylon may come.
The king of Babylon may come. Go ahead.
both twain shall come forth out of one land, and choose a place. Choose it at the head of the way to the city.
Okay.
Appoint a way that the sword may come to Rabbah of the Ammonites, and to Judah and Jerusalem the defense. For the king of Babylon stood at the parting of the way, at the head of the two ways, to use divination.
Hold on, Babylon was using what?
Two ways to use divination.
Babylon, ancient Babylon was using divination. Right? Finish it out.
He made his arrows bright. He consulted with images. He looked in the liver.
That's straight up divination, right? Give me the definition of divination. Let's see. Where I want it from. Merriam's, right? Give me the Merriam's definition of divination. So, we know that the daughter of Babylon is Esau. Every daughter got a mama. As is the mama, so is the daughter. All right, so let's see. Read that for me. X that out and read that. Let's see the definition.
Definition of divination: the art or practice that seeks to foresee or foretell future events or discover hidden knowledge, usually by the interpretation of omens or by the aid of supernatural powers.
Okay, well, name, that brother should raise his hand. Name some ways that divination is taking place here in Babylon, where Edom dwells. Let's see. Joshua, what do you got? Come, Joshua. Now, hey, go to the thesaurus too. Scroll up some and click on thesaurus. It ain't on there? Should be. Yeah, for that word. Go ahead. Oh, microphone, is it on? Microphones.
Cowboys.
Okay, just speak up. What is it? Is that your camp voice? His name is good.
Just went over there. They usually in horoscopes.
Horoscopes. Okay. You're right. You're exactly right. Horoscopes, right? All right, Duell, what you got?
The weather.
Weather? Okay. All right. Scroll down some. Scroll down on this. Let me see something. Words related to divination. What's that first word right there say, brothers? Astrology. Astrology. Right? All the planets and the moon is here, and it's a blood moon, it's a red wolf moon, it's a blue moon, it's a sign of this, it's a sign of that. Most of us didn't really deal with all of that stuff, but we did get caught up in horoscopes. I know that for a fact. Everybody in here knows Satan's astrology, right? Let's see, what I got here for that? Astrology. Give me an easier word for divination and astrology. What's an easier word that somebody can understand? Abiyah, what's an easier word?
Shalom, did it horoscope?
Brother in the back, young brother in the back. What's an easier word for divination? Astrology. Stand up.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Constellations?
Oh, that's a harder word. No, that's not it. Let's see, bring it up. Ebenezer. Let's see what you got.
Long. Witchcraft.
Witchcraft, exactly right. Witchcraft. That's what that is, what we was reading in Ezekiel 21. Go to Daniel chapter 3. I'm going to move through this so we can get to some other stuff. Daniel chapter 3 and read 1 through 7. So ancient Babylon dealt with divination, astrology, witchcraft, right?
Daniel chapter 3 verse 1.
Yep.
Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits.
Remember these words, remember key words. Let them come back and ask them later. Let's tie together. Go ahead.
He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes the governors, and the captains, and judges, and treasurers, and counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces, to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then in Herod,
Hold on, go back, read that bottom part, and they did what? The bottom of verse 3?
and they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up.
Okay, remember that, go ahead.
Then, and Herod cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages.
People, nations, and languages. Go ahead.
That at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth, shall the same hour be cast in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psalteries, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshiped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up.
So ancient Babylon had an image, an idol for all people to worship also. What is the image or idol that modern Babylon, the daughter set up? Let's see. Tabor, stand up. Stand up. What is the idol that the daughter set up here? Let's see.
Caesar bow.
Caesar bow. I knew you was gonna say that. Pull up the video. You're partly right, but it's another one. Pull it up.
Fired up.
This is what we think of you.
These football fans are burning their Colin Kaepernick jerseys, outraged at his refusal to stand for the national anthem.
If you don't love our country, get the out of it.
This guy even plays the Star-Spangled Banner as he sets his Kaepernick jersey aflame. It seems to be happening everywhere.
We are burning a Kaepernick jersey.
But the San Francisco 49ers quarterback is doubling down.
I'll continue to sit. I'm going to continue to stand with the people that are being oppressed. To me, this is something that has to change. And when there's significant change, and I feel like that flag represents what it's supposed to represent, and this country is representing people the way that it's supposed to, I'll stand.
This is the image that sparked the uproar. That's Kaepernick sitting on the bench while his teammates and everyone else in the stadium stand for the national anthem at a preseason game against the Green Bay Packers on Friday. Senator John McCain's daughter, Megan, had this reaction.
Have respect for this flag. Have respect for the men and women who have died for us to have these freedoms. And I don't know what recourse there is, but I wouldn't buy one thing that he's attached to. I wouldn't support his team.
There have been plenty of people who have come out in support of Colin Kaepernick, saying that part of the American ideal is that you can protest.
Kaepernick, who is biracial, says he's protesting oppression.
There's a lot of things that need to change. One specifically is police brutality. There's people being murdered unjustly and not being held accountable. Cops are getting paid leave for killing people. That's not right.
Here at NFL headquarters in New York City, league officials released a statement saying players are encouraged but not required to stand during the national anthem. And Kaepernick's coach is speaking out too, saying the quarterback won't be punished. Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, says he supports Kaepernick's First Amendment right of free speech, tweeting, "He didn't throw a bomb, fire a shot, start a riot, throw a punch, shut a business. He just sat there quietly." Kaepernick's fired-up fans are exercising their right to speak out, too.
How's that for your freedom of speech?
So the mother, when she played the music, she made everybody bow. The daughter, when you hear the music, stand. All right? Go to Judith chapter 2. Let's read 1 through 12. You got to read through here quick. So far, the mother practiced divination. She had an idol. We see that the daughter has divination, has an idol set up for you. Right? So let's see what else the mother did. Judith chapter 1. Let's read 1 through 12. Kind of quick.
Judith chapter 1, verse 1. In the 12th year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, who reigned in Nineveh, the great city, in the days of Arphaxad, which reigned over the Medes in Ecbatane, and built in Ecbatane walls round about, of stones hewn 3 cubits broad and 6 cubits long, and made the height of the wall 70 cubits, and the breadth thereof 50 cubits, and set the towers thereof upon the gates of it, 100 cubits high, and the breadth thereof in the foundation 3 score cubits. And he made the gates thereof, even gates that were raised to the height of 70 cubits, and the breadth of them was 40 cubits, for the going forth of his mighty armies, and for the setting in array of his footmen. Even in those days, King Nebuchadnezzar made war with King Arphaxad, in the great plain, which is the plain in the borders of Ragu. And there came unto him all they that dwelt in the hill country, and all that dwelt by Euphrates, and Tigris, and Hydaspes, and the plain of Arioch, the king of Elamines, and very many nations of the sons of Chelah assembled themselves to the battle. Then Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, sent unto all that dwelt in Persia, and to all that dwelt westward, and to those that dwelt in Cilicia, and Damascus, and Libanus, and Antilochus, and to all that dwelt upon the sea coast, and to those among the nations that were of Carmel and Gilad, and the higher Galilee, and the great plain of Esdraelon, and to all that were in Samaria, and the cities thereof, and beyond Jordan unto Jerusalem, and Bethane, and Chelis, and Cades, and the river of Egypt, and Taphanes, and Ramesses, and all the land of Gesim.
All right, so we read about all the different countries, right? Now jump over to chapter 2. We read about all those different countries, right? Go ahead.
Judith chapter 2, verse 1. And in the 18th year, the 22nd day of the first month, there was talk in the house of Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians.
Because he had took over the Assyrian kingdom also, but he's really king of Babylon. Go ahead.
That he should, as he said, avenge himself on all the
name. He said, I'm going to avenge myself on all of them. Go ahead.
So he called unto him all his officers and all his nobles, and communicated with them his secret counsel, and concluded the affliction of the whole earth out of his own mouth. Then they decreed to destroy all flesh.
So he said, I'm going to afflict all those on the earth. Go ahead.
That did not obey the commandment of his mouth. And when he had ended his counsel, Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, called Holofernes, the chief captain of his army, which was next unto him, and said unto him, Thus saith the great king, the Lord of the whole earth, Behold, thou shalt go forth from my presence, and take with thee men that trust in their own strength, of footmen, 120,000, and the number of horses with their riders 12,000. And thou shalt go against all the west country, because they disobeyed my commandment. And thou shalt declare unto them that they prepare for me earth and water, for I will go forth in my wrath against them, and will cover the whole face of the earth with the feet of mine army, and I will give them for a spoil unto them, so that their slain shall fill their valleys and brooks, and the river shall be filled with their dead till it overflow. And I will lead them captives to the uttermost parts of all the earth. Thou therefore shalt go forth and take beforehand for me all their coast. And if they will yield themselves unto thee, thou shalt reserve them for me till the day of their punishment. But concerning them that rebel, let not thine eyes spare them, but put them to the slaughter, and spoil them wheresoever thou goest. For as I live, and by the power of my kingdom, whatsoever I have spoken, that will I do by mine hand.
So, reading the history of Judah, we understand that Nebuchadnezzar ruled the whole what, brothers? He ruled the whole earth, right? Go to Revelation 17. Nebuchadnezzar ruled the whole earth. So we got out of a mother, we got divination, we got an idol set up that you had to worship. They ruled the whole earth. All right, let's see about the daughter. Revelation 17, read 1 through 5.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had 7 veils, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
Now we'll get the precept when it's talking about many waters here, but they call it the great whore, right? Go ahead.
With whom the kings of the earth had committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth had been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
So stop it right there. So the mother at first, right? We see all the attributes that ancient Babylon had, and it called Edom the daughter of Babylon. Getting to the book of Revelation, God now refers to Babylon, where Esau dwells, as Babylon the Great. Why would God call Babylon, modern Babylon, why would he call it the Great? Babylon the Great. Let's see who's thinking. Manasseh, right? You ain't told me your Hebrew name yet, so I'm calling your tribe.
Shalom, we're going to sit
Shalom. Why would he now refer to this place, the daughter, as the great whore?
Because what Babylon did in the past, they take it up to another notch.
Here we go. You hit it right on the head. They took it to the next level. It's the next level of wickedness, right? So much to the next level of wickedness that is shrouded in smoke and mirrors. You can never really put your finger on it. That's why God called it Mystery Babylon the Great. Our people in the world would never say that that's actually benefiting from it. They would never say that America is a bad place to be. What do people say when they talk about Babylon the Great? They know things are wrong in that nature, but when they talk about Babylon the Great as a whole, what do they always end it off with? Does anybody know when they talk about this place compared to other places on the earth? Who knows? Let's see, Caleb. Let's see. What do they always say? And this is why I titled the class The Great Escape.
They say that it's the greatest nation on earth.
They say it's the greatest nation on earth, right? Okay, something else. Let's see. Arya, what do they say? What else do they say?
Shalom, leadership.
Shalom.
People come in and they say they come in to be free from other countries.
Okay. You warm. Duel. You warm. That's close right there.
This is the place, American Dream, the new wave.
Okay, they say that. Let's go to the back. I forget his name, brother. The glasses. No, older brother, right there. Stand up. What do they say? This is mystery. No, right there. There we go. Yeah, you. Stand it up. Go ahead.
They said this is the land of opportunities.
Oh, okay. They do say that. Solomon Levi. You last one. I gotta be.
This is the most powerful nation on earth.
Okay. You're right. Y'all saying all the same thing. But this is what they ended off. Where else would you rather be? I don't want to live nowhere else. Look at all the freedoms that we got here. The land of opportunity, the American dream. Look at all of this stuff that we got here. Why would you want to live anywhere else? But God is telling you, what? Lakil, go ahead. Officer Lakil, I'll give it to you. What is the one thing that's in this verse?
You can be anything you want to be.
You can be anything. Yeah, you're right. You can be anything you want to be here. But what did it say above in the scriptures that we read? What is going on here, actually? What is actually going on in Babylon the Great? We read it in the beginning of it. There's one word that let's see. Matthias. Let's see if we got it. Let's see. I won't stay too long with this.
She is the whore that sits upon many waters.
Okay.
Witchcraft.
You're right, witchcraft. But what's the word that it used in Revelation? What did it say?
Fornication.
Fornication. But like I said, it ain't. Let me tell you, it ain't. Our nation's like, is Russia getting up off the map, having sex with America? How are they committing fornication? Because it goes back to what you said, witchcraft. But look, it's a mystery. How is it? Okay, Wisdom of Solomon 14. See, this is the difference between the mother and the great whore, the daughter, Babylon the Great. Wisdom of Solomon 14, and let's read verse 12. Let me see if I want to start at 12. Wisdom of Solomon 14, let's start at verse 11.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 11. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of God they are become an abomination, and stumbling blocks to the souls of men.
Stumbling blocks to the souls of man. Go ahead.
And a snare to the feet of the unwise. For the devising of idols.
For the what?
The devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life.
Go back to Revelation 17. So when it's talking about fornication, go to Revelation 17, let's read verse 2.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Okay, let's think. That's why I said I pray you get it. I'm going to ask you questions. If you don't, you can study your notes. Go back, watch your class when it come out, Lord willing. How has Babylon the Great made the whole earth drunk with fornication? What is it? Let's see. Let's see who's thinking. If you was reading the book of Daniel with me, you might have something here. Let's see. Let's see what you got. Ebenezer. Let's see. Take a shot. You had your hand up. I threw you a bone that might have thrown you off, but remember the words it was saying in Daniel, right? Y'all got one part of it, but it was another part of it. That was right. All right, we got...
I don't got it.
Okay, all right. Samson, what you got?
Idolatry.
That's too general, man. You gotta make this. My Bible came alive. You gotta make it come alive. That's general, right? Abel, how's it made the whole? You gotta listen to the key word. It made the whole earth drunk.
By their policies.
No. Solomon Levi, let's see what you got. I gotta go.
Pornography.
No. All right, purple shirt up front. Off to Daniel. Let's see what you got. If you don't bring it home, give an answer. You're the last straw.
Because like how you read, when we read Daniel 3, Nebuchadnezzar, what he did was he ruled over the whole earth. So the reason why the daughter of Babylon had the power to make the nations drunk with their wine is because they rule over the whole earth.
You're right, but you ain't saying how they rule over the whole earth. Precept upon precept, y'all. All right. I'll salute. Because this is it's a little bit of, you gotta have read this stuff before, meditate on it a little bit, learn from those above you. How?
Basically, they commanded that all bow to the image. They pushed the image of Christ out there, and they made everybody on the page.
There you go. You can go into any nation on earth and find white Jesus. You can go to any nation on earth and find what religion? Christianity. That's why I say this ain't just regular Babylon. This is Babylon the Great. And it's a mystery of how they are making them commit spiritual fornication is through that white image of Caesar Bowl with Christianity. Pushing it on everybody, right? All right, good job. Okay, so let's go back to Revelation 17, and let's jump over to where I want to start. I don't want to do too much. Okay, let's go to 8.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 8.
Okay, go ahead.
The beast that thou sawest, the beast that thou sawest was and is not.
Was and is not. You've seen it in a vision and is not on the earth, right? Go ahead.
And shall ascend out of the bottomless pit.
That's why is not here, because it has not came out of the bottomless pit yet, right? We'll get that precept, Roseville. Go ahead.
And go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world.
That's why it's a mystery. Like, well, how did this place get destroyed? Go ahead.
When they behold the beast that was and is not, and yet is.
It says it was in your vision and is not yet come, but it is on the earth. All right? Let's read on. You'll understand. We'll explain what it is on earth, right? Let's see. Who was ruling when John was in prison on the island of Patmos? What nation on earth? Just say it. Who was it, brothers? Rome. It was ruling, right? Okay. Read verse 9.
Verse 9. And here is the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, on which the woman sitteth.
That's empires, right? Mountains is empires. Go ahead.
And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and 1 is.
5 are fallen, and 1 is still in existence. Go ahead.
And the other is not yet come.
The other is not yet come. Go ahead.
And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
All right, so let's see. When he come, he's going to continue a short space, right? What is the obvious answer that most of y'all that are probably thinking right now? Continue a short space. What is it? What do y'all think it is? Let's see. Abiyah in the back. Who is it? Continue a short space. Who would that be?
That would be America.
America. Most people would say that, okay? Let's read on and show you it's not talking about America right there, right? And I'll give you the answer at verse 10 here. Read verse 11. 11 is going to explain who has that short space. Read verse 11.
Verse 11. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7th, and goeth into perdition.
So this beast you saw is the 8th head, but it comes out of the 7th, and when it does, it's going to be destroyed. Who knows a little bit of history? Who did America get its independence from? Let's see. Let's give it to one of these young brothers that's still in school. David, up front. Up front. Let's see. Say it on the microphone. Let's see.
Britain.
Who?
Britain.
Great Britain. They ruled. Now go back to verse 10.
Verse 10. And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come.
That 1 is, which is Rome. Go ahead. And the other is not yet come. That is Great Britain. Verse 11 tells you. Read verse 11 again.
Verse 11. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7th.
This last one is coming out of the 7th one. Right? America got its independence from who, brothers? The British are coming. The British are coming. Right? What is that called? What is that called historically? What is that war called? Abiyah. I'm coming back. Hold on. What is Abiyah? What do you got? A question or a statement? What do you got? Question or statement? Question or statement?
Statement before the.
Okay, go ahead.
I was saying that would be the Pope, because he would be the 8th.
Nah, that's why I went over that. That's exactly why I went over that. Because that's the common thought right there. You think it's Rome, because you seven hills. Oh, 7 hills in Rome. No, they ain't talking about that. Verse 11 told you. It came up out of the seventh. Came out of the seventh, right? So, what is that called historically? What is that called? Ebenezer, you gotta know some history.
I'm guessing on this one. I think it's
No, sit down. I don't even need nobody that guesses. We ain't got time for guessing. Brother in the back. What is that called historically?
Shalom. The Great Boston Tea Party?
No, you close, but it's before that. John Levi. See, Revelation is a book of all of it put together. It's just historical. It's historic history. Go ahead.
Independence Day?
The independence, the War of Independence, 1776. America got its independence from who, brothers? It came up out of the seventh. Right? They had to pay taxes, the Boston Tea Party, they had to pay taxes to Great Britain. They came out of it through the War of Independence, 1776, right? Jump down to verse 15.
Verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes, and nations and tongues.
That goes back to verse 1. The great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Right? Those are actually people. Just like ancient Babylon ruled over all nations, Babylon the Great does it too. The daughter does the same thing. Right? Read verse 16.
Verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire.
Now, we went over this before, the 10 horns. What are the 10 horns? Does anybody know? The 10 horns. Oh, big brother, Ebenezer. Okay, let's see what you got. Who's the 10 horns?
The European Union.
Okay.
NATO.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right, we'll take that. European Union, NATO, right. All right, read verse 17 now.
Verse 17. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
So it says that woman is that great city that rules over all the kingdoms of the earth. We know this. That's America, right? If you didn't know what it's talking about. Now, where it says they're going to give their power unto the beast until the words of God shall be fulfilled. Can you Google Russia? See, this is why, Lord's why I get to it. Okay. But this is why Christ told us to do what? What did Christ tell us to do? Watch and pray. Go to Russia and America no longer. There we go. Okay, there we go. Scroll back up. I want to see the picture. Now, what you see right here is all the different rulers of the nations, of the kingdoms, right? And they talking to Trump, and it says, scroll down, a new world is dawning, and the U.S. will no longer lead it. Find the one about where Russia no longer sees America. Type that one in. And while we finding that, go back to Revelation 17:17 and read that.
Revelation chapter 17.
Well, read verse 16.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
That's talking about EU, NATO, European Union is the word I was looking for. But go ahead.
And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire.
Type in Putin on the end of that. Go ahead.
For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled.
All right. Click on that first one. Let's see. You sent it? Yeah, is that it? Send it to me real quick. No, that ain't it. I need the picture. Hold on. Yeah, that's it, Pagiel. Send it to me real quick on Telegram. And I'm going to send it to the Sabbath class, right? It says, until the words of God be fulfilled. All right. Here we go. All right, here it comes. All right, I didn't have this in there, but it just hit me. Let's go back up. Let's go back up. What does that say? Newsweek. Russia, world no longer trusts U.S. to lead. It's time others step in to stop blackmail and pressure. April 12th, 2019. How long was that today? Today's the 20th? Last week. Last week! They just said that, right? Read verse 17 again.
Verse 17. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled.
So, I hope the light turned on with y'all. What time period you living in right now? Well, the class, the Great Escape from Babylon the Great, right? Go to Revelation 13. Let's read 11 through 15 real quick.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
That's their politics, Democrat and Republican, right? Go ahead.
And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him.
He exercised all the power of the same beast that was before him. Read on.
And causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast.
So that's why when you look at the, what's that place called? Supreme Court building, it looks like the same stuff from ancient Rome. Read on.
And he doeth, and dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
That's nuclear bombs. Go ahead.
And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
Surely God is with them. Go ahead.
Saying, to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast.
They should do what?
Make an image to the beast.
The same thing that his mother did. Made an image of the beast. Go ahead.
Which had the wound by a sword and did live.
That's Caesar Bow. Read on.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Should be killed. Okay, go to Revelation 18. The image is Caesar Bow, right? Made it come to life through movies and books and all of that other stuff, right? Revelation 18, read 1 through 5.
Revelation chapter 18, verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her.
Through her religion, right? Go ahead.
And the merchants of the earth were waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquity.
So that's what we're talking about. How do you come up out of Babylon the Great when the prophecy is completely fulfilled? Because we see it's close. How do you come up out of it? 2nd Ezra 14. 2nd Ezra chapter 14, and I want to read verse, what I want, 2nd Ezra 13:54. 13:54.
2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 54. For thou hast forsaken thine own way.
So we're talking about how do you escape. You got to do what? Read that again.
For thou hast forsaken thine own way, and applied thy diligence unto my law, and sought it. Thy life hast thou ordered in wisdom, and hast called understanding thy mother.
So to get up out of here, you have to forsake your own way, whether it be drugs, being rebellious, stealing, lying, hate, whatever it might be. You got to forsake your own way, right? Jump over to 2 Ezra 14, verse 14.
2 Ezra, chapter 14, verse 14. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee.
What is another way of saying the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee? Give me an easier word, an easier way of saying that. Thoughts that are most heavy unto thee. What's another way of saying it? Anybody know? Heavy thoughts. Matthias, I basically laid it out to you. But the heavy thoughts, right? What are those?
The sin that you're battling with the most.
Nope. Anybody else? Tabor.
Depression.
What is it called?
Depression.
Depression. God said, get over the damn depression. You hit lotto. You found out you was Israel. You see the prophecies coming to an end. If you endure, you got something waiting on you that your mind can't even imagine. God said, set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee. You worried about worldly things. Go to 2 Ezra chapter 8. Yeah, depression. Let go of it. That's why. What does the Lord say that you should be on these feast days all the time? Ira, up front, stand up. What is it? What does he say over and over and over again?
Shalom. He says to be joyful.
Be joyful. Be glad. That's why God keeps saying it all the time. Yeah, you in captivity because of your own damn doing. Be happy while you're here. Let go of the heavy thoughts. You put yourself here, but you got something waiting on you. You just endure. Let go of the heavy thoughts. Go to 2 Ezra 8, and let's read verse 15.
2 Ezra chapter 8, verse 15.
Talking about escaping, right? Go ahead.
Now, therefore, Lord, I will speak, touching man in general, thou knowest best, but touching thy people, for whose sake I am sorry.
Ezra was worried about who? Who was he worried about, brothers? His people. Go ahead.
And for thine inheritance, for whose cause I mourn, and for Israel, for whom I am heavy, and for Jacob, for whose sake I am troubled. Therefore, will I begin to pray before thee for myself and for them, for I see the falls of us that dwell in the land.
So I pull that scripture. That's for you selfish people. Yeah, call it like it is. That's for you that is selfish, is all outdoors. You really don't care about nobody else but yourself. You fake it and you ain't making it. that saying here in Babylon, fake it till you make it, don't work with God. And our people as a whole, as a nation, have become very selfish, where you only look out for yourself. You would turn a blind eye. And a lot of people, you had to do that to survive in the hood that you came up in. But being repentant Israel, you can't walk around being selfish. Ezra was worried about his people. That's how you're getting up out of here. Go to, let me see, 2 Ezra 14. 2 Ezra chapter 14. And what I got here? Read verse 15 again. 14 and 15.
2 Ezra chapter 14, verse 15. And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times.
Flee from these times. We was talking about that earlier, right? Flee from these times. Go ahead.
For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter.
Okay, go to 2 Timothy. I'm going to show you what he's talking about. Flee from these times, right? 2 Timothy chapter 2. Read verse 3 and verse 4.
2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life.
So when we talk about, it said, flee from this life, he's talking about, don't be worried about getting caught up in the next song. Or when's the only time that you're supposed to be worried about the affairs of this life? When's the only time? Let's see. I mentioned it earlier. I showed you a little something. Reuben, when is the only time that you're supposed to be really worried? Now, I ain't talking about, we know you got to go to work. We know, pay attention to the weather so you can take an umbrella. Okay, we know that. That's the basic stuff. You know what I'm talking about when I say the affairs in this world. When's the only time we really supposed to care what's going on?
Like you said earlier, fast and pray. So, watch and pray.
Watch and pray. Okay, for what reason?
To see the times, see where we're at.
Exactly right. That's the only time that you really are worried about the affairs of this world. Okay, what are they talking about in the world news? Oh, Russia just said that they no longer see America as the leader. That's Revelation 17. And it says they're going to burn the whore with fire. Oh, it's getting close to the end. That's when you are supposed to be worried about the affairs of this world. Right? But other stuff where, we get caught up in how I'm going to pay this, how I'm going to this, what I'm going to eat, how I'm going to survive with this, all my clothes is running down. God said, let go of the mortal thoughts. You worried about the wrong stuff. Because if you got faith, what is the Most High going to do? He's going to take care of you regardless. You focus on what's needful. Right? Okay, read verse 4 again.
Verse 4.
Because I bring it up, a lot of us get caught up. That's how you get depressed. Because you worried about everything going on around you and not focused on the main thing. Therefore, you get depressed. I'll read that verse 4 again.
No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be his soldier.
So if you caught up, you find yourself getting depressed and you caught up with the things that are going on around you, on my job and this and then I get my money here, right here. Just know that Christ ain't pleased. Because you caught up in the wrong things. Your mind's focused on the wrong things. Ephesians 5:22. Ooh. All praises, I made it to this one.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22.
All right, we go over this a lot. I want to go over it again. Read that.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husband.
Remember, we talking about the great escape from Babylon the Great, right? Let me turn over here. I want to make sure. I want to look at y'all faces when you read this. Read that scripture again.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Lord.
The reason why I pull this, we talk about the great escape. This is going to be some of you women's greatest battle to get over if you plan on escaping. Because some of you is, and mainly not many of y'all, but a lot of our sisters in the world, they do not want to submit yourself. And those that we have to counsel all the time, you are battling this scripture right here. You know what it is? You got the Babylonian mindset. You get what's that one picture that they got with the woman?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, famous. The feminine stuff. Nobody tells me what to do. My body is my body. It's not a baby unless it's born. I can abort it if I want to. All right. Read verse 22 again.
Verse 22.
I gotta get through this. Go ahead.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Lord.
Just like you would Jesus the Christ. When he returns, you're supposed to submit to your husband. Go ahead.
For the husband is the head of the wife.
You is not 50-50. What he says goes, as long as it ain't sin.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body.
That's like me telling Christ, Christ, why does the Sabbath day still have to be on Saturday? I'm missing all of these sales here in Babylon the Great. Can't you just change it so I can catch the sales and look fly out here for you as Israel? What kind of sense does that make? So the same way when your husband is in the house, he's telling you what to do, follow the commandments of God, fall in line. Verse 24.
Verse 24. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything.
So that's a reminder for you Babylonian mindset women, you Negro Puerto Ricans up in here. Read verse 25.
Verse 25. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church.
Now, I'll put this in here. This is for you lazy lovers. You men that are lazy. What do I mean by that? You men that are lazy lovers. What do I mean? No, huh? What are you talking about? I'm gonna keep it PG. We got kids out here. Lord. Okay, go ahead. What do I mean when I say you lazy lovers that are men? What do I mean? What do you think I mean? Let's see if the wisdom of God is deceiving. What I mean?
Well, you got certain people that don't put in the extra effort or go the extra mile to.
Well, you really ain't even got to put in extra effort. Extra. Let me give it to old school Junior in the back. Officer Lion King. Y'all make sure y'all watch out for headquarters. We got to be a part 2 on this. Why am I calling some of you lazy lovers?
Those that neglect to rule their house.
Oh, nah, man. Look at the key words. Abiyah, we're going to stick with you in the back. What do I mean, lazy? Are you married, Abiyah? Are you married?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what do I mean, lazy lovers?
Not teaching the law to the women.
Oh, God. That's why, sisters, that's why I did not neglect to read on down in Ephesians 5. Y'all thought like, oh, he gonna get us. All right, stop on it. Bring it up front, purple shirt right here, Officer Samuel. Lazy lovers. It says, husbands, love your wives as Christ also loved the church and gave himself. What do you mean lazy lovers?
Lazy lover meaning not laying it down.
No, man is ready for that. What are you talking about? We ready for that. That's when we got all the energy. No, I can't say. I gotta move on, y'all. You're telling y'all, lazy lovers. See, you a lazy lover. You just told on yourself. You ready whenever it's time to get down in the bed. But to take your wife out to a daggone 2 for $20, hold her hand, go to the beach or something, go to the movies. You are non-existent. Only time you show up is when it's time to lay down the law. You a lazy lover. It's more than that. Marriage is more than that. Loving your wife is more than that. Sister, submit to your husband without the stank face and the silent treatment. It's more than, submitting is more than that.
Hey, on both sides. Dealing with the men, sometimes we neglect our wives because we forget to put in those bricks with our wives. Because just like building the kingdom of heaven, we have to build up our wives also. Because we want them to make it into the kingdom.
Right, so when it comes to that, that's right. Don't be a lazy lover. So got here. He set it up.
He just tried to say it.
Yeah, he set it up. You know what he does. All right, okay. I don't want to stop there. Okay, I can't read it all, right? Let's go to Titus chapter 2. And I want to read verse 6 through 8. You want to escape, these are things you got to do. Titus chapter 2, verse 6 through 8.
Titus chapter 2, verse 6. Young men, likewise, exhort to be sober-minded.
So you young man in here, don't be going around getting high. Those of you that are in high school, middle school, just graduated from college or graduated from high school, don't be going around here getting high. Read on.
In all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works. In doctrine, showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say to you.
Because you ain't getting caught up in the same mess they are. You got a pattern of good works. You ain't with the homies one night, drinking, missing the Sabbath, playing Xbox all damn day, and then, oh, no, I don't do that. I don't do that, brother. No, I don't mess with that. No, you got to show a pattern of good works so they ain't got nothing to say. But jump up to verse 2. Where the young man going to learn that from? Verse 2.
Verse 2. That the aged men be sober.
You older man in here, don't be going around getting drunk. Secretly drunk. Thinking you can hold your liquor and still, you know how to be the ones that be getting drunk. I know how to hold my liquor, try to have a conversation with you at the same time. Yeah, I've been drinking, but I ain't drunk. Trying to hold it. Bro, we know you drunk. You try to have a, I know how to hold. No, it don't work like that. Aged man be sober. Right? Read on.
Grave.
Serious. Don't be clowns. Read on.
Temperate. Sound in faith, in charity, in patience.
So you got to be temperate. You got to have patience. Can't fly off the deep end, right? Go to 2 Timothy 2 and 22. Let's go back there. 2 Timothy 2 and 22.
2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 22. Flee also youthful lust.
God says do what?
Flee also youthful lust.
To escape Babylon the Great, you got to flee youthful lust. That youthful lust is, if you, especially your old man walking around here still thinking, you know, looking for sugar mamas and stuff, and you ain't found the right one. That's a youthful lust. Young boys full of hormones is the ones that ain't repentant, running around trying to find every girl they can. Ain't no way you should be an old man doing youthful things. Them sagging your pants in the clubs with your old ass Easter suit on. The hole in the wall club. Listening to Charlie Wilson. Charlie Wilson's for them old heads that still want to be young. That's where he making his money from. Flee also youthful lust. Read on.
But follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace with them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart.
So basically, flee also youthful lust. You know what they're saying? Man the hell up. Some of you that are young in here, or you grown man that ain't grew the hell up, flee those youthful lusts, whether it be just dealing with women, it might be with drugs, it might be with gambling, it might not be, don't know how to take care of no daggone money, hell, don't know you're a lazy lover. Grow the hell up. Come in IUIC, we're about turning boys into men. Men into fathers. Flee the youthful lust that Babylon the Great has kept you in. Right? Go to what I want here, Colossians chapter 3. Colossians chapter 3. Now make sure, watch out for headquarters for me. Okay. Colossians chapter 3, and I want to read verse 12 and 13.
Colossians chapter 3 verse 12. Put on therefore as the elect of God, holy and beloved.
Now I went to this for you, what do I want to call you? I'm going to be nice. It's for you hateful Negroes and niggettes. That just, like you just don't, like Edwards was worried about his people. But that spirit ain't in you at all. You don't care. You know, and you know how we know that you need to hear this? Yeah, you don't talk to nobody. How the hell do you come here for years and you ain't got no relationships with nobody? You just here and you're gone. You don't love nobody. That's what you hate for us. Go ahead. Read verse 12 again.
Put on therefore as the elect of God, holy and beloved, bowels of mercy.
Bowels of mercy you gotta have. Go ahead.
Kindness.
What you gotta have?
Kindness.
This is, you know. It's mainly from this side. It's mainly from this side. Brothers, we really don't have a problem with that brotherly love. We kick it, you know. A lot of you brothers be leaving early because your wife ready to go home. Well, I know. I see it. You ain't got to tell me. I see it. But we got to have some kindness one for another, right? Learn how to speak to each other. Hug somebody, right? That's kindness. Read the next one.
Humbleness of mind.
You got to because you know, you learned this in Babylon the Great. That's what rap music thrives off of. I'm better than you. You ain't got what I got. Oh man. Oh God. I see the video last night. And you know, I have to keep up with the affairs of this world so I know what's going on because I don't pay attention to it no other time. All right? But oh God, you that got daughters, got sons, you better watch what they are watching, cause I'm telling you, these rap videos now, it's one with what's that dude's name? Look like a damn scarecrow. That's the Cardi B. Offset. Look, those that knew it, you better repent. I set you up. You didn't even know it. I was waiting to see who knew it. I heard it more over here. Oh, Lord. Y'all better repent. Y'all better repent. Y'all should know his name.
Oh, man, that was so you been saying something.
Okay, all right, we ain't gonna call him. He got time to repent. He's young. We gotta flee youthful lust. But that dude, and I think he's married to Cardi B, Offset. I think he's married to Cardi B. They got a video together, and she's literally, it's like porn. And it's a regular video. It ain't censored. It don't pop up, are you 18 years old, rated R, none of that stuff. It's like a regular video that plays on, where do they play videos nowadays? YouTube, BT. They still got MTV? They still got it? Yeah, they still got it. They still got MTV? Okay. I'm thinking, Yo's MTV Rap, that type of stuff. I'm thinking Rap City the Basement. That's old stuff. Right, but okay, they are showing that stuff on those videos, and she's literally, he's in a chair and she's on top of him like they are in a bedroom. The whole time she comes on the screen. If you ain't paying attention to what your daughters and your sons are watching, I'm telling you. Okay, but I digress. Humbleness of mind. We got to have a humbleness of mind, which in turn will cause you to care one for another. Meekness. Go ahead. Long suffering. Read verse 13.
Verse 13. Forbearing one another and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye.
There should never be any problems, especially when you repent and come inside these four walls. It should be any problems, and if there are problems, they are taken care of because you understand that every one of us is coming out of the world. I'm humbleness of mind where I know you might not be where I am, so I'm going to humble myself, and I'm going to take the high road, and I'm going to, I'm going to seek peace from you. I know we got something together, but I ain't going to wait for you to come to me. I'm going to go seek the peace. What did Christ say about peacemakers? What did he say? What are they, brothers? Blessed are the peacemakers. Matthew chapter 5. Right? Humbleness of mind. Right? Forgive. Now go to 2nd Ezra 9. Go back to 2nd Ezra 9. We're almost done because headquarters. 2nd Ezra chapter 9, and I want to read verse 5 through 8.
Second Ezra chapter 9 verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs.
And signs, go ahead.
And everyone that shall be saved.
Everyone that shall be saved. Read on.
And shall be able to escape by his works.
You're going to be able to escape. Escape what, brothers? What are you escaping? What's the title of today's class? Babylon. Escape Babylon the Great. Everyone that shall be saved and escape by what? Read it again, Lyle.
and shall be able to escape by his works.
By his works. Husband, y'all. Some of y'all. You're kind of shaky. We don't see you. All the stuff that we got here to do in this school, whether it be actually in the building or outside the building, you could be working on something. Some of y'all, you better check yourself when it comes to works. And your works don't have to always be seen of man. If you put in work, it'll eventually get back to where somebody notices it. If you ain't putting in no work, nobody's ever gonna notice it. And when you're not putting in no work and don't nobody notice it, the people that see you not putting in work, we gonna notice it. Because we put in work. Go ahead.
Hey, but Kel, you know, the work that we put in, it shouldn't be for recognition.
Right.
It should be put in because, as Ezra said, he cared for his people.
Right.
That's why we're here. We care for each other. So, real quick. There you go.
Well, I don't think we got time. Because it says you're going to be able to escape by your works and by faith whereby ye have believed. Read verse 8.
Verse 8. Shall be preserved from the said peril.
Now, we read the said perils in what? The book of Revelation. It says they're going to hate the whore and burn her with fire. That's given. It's coming. We see the prophecies unfolding little by little. We see it coming, right? It says, shall be preserved from the said perils. Read on.
And shall see my salvation in my land. And within my borders. For I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
Go to Luke 21:33. So if you find yourself, if you have to question yourself, am I putting in enough work? Do I put in work? Right? Okay, that's scripture here. Go to Luke 21:33.
Luke chapter 21, verse 33.
Watch that for me.
Heaven and earth shall pass away.
Hold on, read that again.
Heaven and earth shall pass away.
You see what Jesus the Christ is talking about. Heaven and earth shall pass away. Go ahead.
But my words shall not pass away.
Read it again.
Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away.
So everything that we read in this book, because it says he comes in the volume of the book, it shall come to pass. If you don't find yourself applying these things where you are able to escape, you will be caught up in the destruction and desolation to come. Read on verse 34 on down to 36.
Verse 34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with the serviety and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that they come upon you unaware.
What's an easier way of saying take heed to yourselves? What is that? Ruben, your hand went up first. What's another way of saying take heed to yourselves?
Examine yourself.
You better examine yourself. Examine yourself. Read on.
For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth.
A snare is a trap. Does anybody purposely walk into a trap so they can get caught up? No. It sneaks in like, oh, that. You get hit with the bear claw. Oh, dang, I didn't even see it there. That's how Christ is coming back on the whole earth. Right? Verse 36.
Watch ye therefore and pray always.
Watch ye therefore and pray always. What does he tell you? Is he telling you to watch Atlanta Housewives, Love and Hip Hop, daggone the playoffs? For you brothers secretly might be watching them in here. Is he telling you to watch the play? What's he telling you to watch? Ira, what did he tell you to watch? Just stand up and say it.
He's telling you to watch the times.
Watch the times. Watch the prophecies unfold in front of your face, because verse 35, the whole world ain't paying attention to it. So you watch ye therefore and pray always. Read on.
That ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man.
You got to watch and pray so you are found worthy. Not on your own personal relationship standards. You got to be found worthy to escape to God. That's why like it says, he says in verse 34, take heed, you better examine yourself, because you getting into the kingdom ain't based off how good you think you are. It's based off of how worthy God think you are to enter into the kingdom of heaven forever. And the one place that he gave us that we can measure ourselves up against to see if we're worthy is the book of life.
Now they will see the true men of God. We are not black men, we are Israelites. That's right. Take care of us. Take care of us. And our children too. And our children too. We have repented. We have repented. How about you? How about you? People want to know who's the king.
O nation of Israel, it's time to return to the Father. O nation of Israel, it's time to return to the Father.
Now why they trying to make it so hard to serve God? And why when I say that I'm a Jew, it sound odd? For years I've been walking around saying that I'm a black man. I ain't saying that no more, it sound wrong, man.
This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.